when I came to this country, I was a divorced woman with 2 children, and about 18 months later, I got radically saved. And my first sermon that I ever heard on tithe, it just really spoke to my heart. And as a single mum, I did have a lot of fear when it came to finance, but I knew that I needed to start tithing. You see, God has given us Jesus, and with him all things. And he wants to break off us the attachment of this temporal world. And I think that's one of the things that I had an attachment to money and had fear. But in all that time with tithing, God was always faithful. There would be times where I would have bills up on my fridge, and my brother-in-law would come in the house, and the next minute I'd look and that bill was gone and paid. And he would come back with the receipt. Then I met Sam, and we got married, and we also went through some very challenging financial times. And sometimes the fear would rise up in me, and Sam is always one to say, things done God's way, God will always provide. He will never see the righteous forsaken, or his children suffering for bread, or asking for bread, begging for bread. That's Sam's continual reply to me whenever any kind of fear arises. And we have always been 100% faithful to give our tithes and offerings. And any time God speaks to my heart and says, I want you to give to somebody, I will do that. One time we had people across the road from us who were going to lose their house. They could not pay their next mortgage thing. And Sam and I gave money that we just really didn't have. But we said, we cannot let somebody lose their house. We gave them that money, and it was close to Christmas time, and I was like, oh my goodness me, we're giving this money away, we're never going to have a good Christmas, what are we going to do with the kids? But you know what, I don't know how God did it, still to this day, but we had one of the best Christmases ever. We still bought the kids gifts, and that's something I've found with God. When you're faithful to give, he is motivated to bless, because he is the one, when you sow, he is the Lord of the harvest. Yes. So when you are keeping his financial principle and you are sowing, he is obligated to be righteous and just, to stand on his word and to give it back to you in blessings. Yes. One time Kirsty came to Sam and I and said, I don't think you give us enough pocket money. So we said, okay. Sam said, because he's got a lot more wisdom than me, he said, here we go, Kirsty, you know maths, you're really good at maths, here's all our bills, here's our income. You go away, you work out a budget for us, and if you think that we can give you more pocket money, you show us. She came back and she said, I don't even know how you do it. And we said, we don't either. On paper, it did not make sense. But God so blesses what you have left that we never ever had to look or beg for money to pay an account. Yes. Our bills have always been paid on time because God is faithful and he's good. Yes. And even in Malachi, one more thing, even in Malachi, where God says, bring all your tithes into the storehouse and see if I will not open up the windows of heaven. You know, in religion, that can be like, in that same chapter, God says, I am the one who does not change. In that same chapter. It's not like a fear thing. I do not change, so you bring in your tithes. No, God is love. It's more like, I do not change. Here's my promise. Here's my word to you. My love for you will see that if you do what I say, I will bless you. I will open up the heaven. Do not fear. Just do what I ask, and you will see my blessing.
Thanks, Anita.